So if my brain goes there, I'm like, nope, I'm not asking myself. I'm doing it anyway. The motivation will come later or it won't, but I'm doing it anyway. So I back into more of I'm committed to this, whether I feel like it or not. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Honeycast. I am going to be talking today about motivation, and I want to give you a tip. I want to let you into a secret that I learned. You do not have to wait to feel motivated to take action. I just want to give you that little tip there, because if we are waiting for motivation to happen, then as you know, that is going to come and go. And if we are waiting for motivation before we take action, then we're going to be doing a lot of start and stopping. And so what I like to do is I like to look at motivation as something that if it's there, wonderful. If it's not, that's okay. I can still take action. And I like to look at it as something that I can create with my thoughts. So I love this teaching because it's really helped me show up even when I'm not motivated, which has helped me implement habits in my life that I'm very happy with. And now that I have those habits, I don't necessarily have to be motivated. But don't get me wrong, I love feeling motivated. That is a great feeling. So first, let's talk about taking action even if we're not motivated. Let's talk about that first. How do you do that? So when I am looking at whatever action I want to take, whether it's to work out with my weights, or maybe it's to go for a walk, or maybe it's to work on a project that I'm not super excited about, or maybe it's to make dinner sometimes. When we look at these actions and we are waiting for that motivation to be there, it really keeps us, it either keeps us in a space of not doing it or procrastination, or doing it with a really bad attitude. And so I like to look at that feeling of motivation as, okay, I may not feel motivated. However, this is the action I'm going to take because I want blank. So I'm playing it forward. So first of all, let's just talk about an exercise. I honestly have also learned not to ask myself if I want to or not. So that's a great tip. Don't ask yourself if you want to do these things, you guys, because you're not going to want to do it. I just bypass that. If I start asking myself those questions, then I will talk myself right out of my workout sometimes. So if my brain goes there, I'm like, nope, I'm not asking myself. I'm doing it anyway. The motivation will come later or it won't, but I'm doing it anyway. So I back into more of I'm committed to this, whether I feel like it or not. You can do the same thing with a project that you're working on, or maybe it's making your menu or doing a little prep for yourself. Your brain does not like to do hard things. And if your brain thinks that that's hard, you're going to want to avoid that. But waiting for motivation to happen is going to get you into procrastination and or really not even following through. So it's more of a commitment. So you decide what are the non-negotiables here? What are the habits that I'm wanting to create? And when motivation is not there, this is what we back into. When you're motivated, wonderful. I get motivated at the start of anything. I get motivated if I have a little bit of energy and I'm ready to see immediate results. But when I'm not motivated, I drop back into commitment. Okay, I am committed to making this meal for my family. And instead of having a bad attitude about it or waiting to be motivated, I'm going to go in and I'm going to honor my commitment. And guess what? I'm going to find fun. That is the best way to try to cultivate some motivation. Find fun. Make it fun. And I know that even takes work. But when you do start cultivating fun and even gratitude and thankfulness, you actually start cultivating more motivation. So for me, it's more of a means to an end. If I'm wanting to feel motivated, I start thinking motivated thoughts. That's all it is. I can think unmotivated thoughts. Oh my gosh, I really don't want to do this. I don't feel like doing that. It seems too hard. all those things. Or I can create motivated thoughts with, wow, I'm going to feel so great after I have done this XYZ. Or another thought that's motivating is, I'm going to find joy and fun in this particular, whether it's a habit or a chore. That is how I create motivation. So what kind of thoughts do you need to think to create your own motivation? Is it thinking about the results you're going to get? Is it thinking about how you're going to feel when you show up for yourself? Is it finding the joy or the fun? Or is it sticking to your commitment? Whatever it is, you can choose different thoughts. And so the feeling of motivation, whether it's there or not, you can continue to create these habits for yourself. And sometimes I'll even acknowledge, no, I'm not motivated, and that's okay, because no motivation will come later. I can do this anyway. And when I use some of the principles that I was just teaching you about, especially when I go into joy and fun and or gratitude, it really does, it just changes the whole vibe. It changes that unmotivated feeling. And, unmotivation can also be a saboteur and sabotaging our weight loss goals or our health goals. So we want to take a look at that. Whether you're motivated or not motivated, what are some thoughts that you can start thinking to become more motivated? What can you do in the moments when you know you're not motivated anyway? So it's I love being able to think through these things, because in the moment, and not every single moment I catch this, but in the moment, I've got my go-tos. I don't have to just follow through with how I feel. That is what's so powerful about this mindset work, is that I used to feel like I just had to obey every single thing that came into my head. And I kind of did obey that. What I learned was, wow, what I'm thinking is creating how I'm feeling. And guess what? I can choose a thought. I can choose whether I want to think something or not. Believe it or not, you can choose that. And that's powerful. When we choose a different thought, and we have to practice that. It's called rewiring our brain. We have to practice that. But once you choose a different thought, then you have a different emotion. When you have a different emotion, guess what? You're going to act differently, and you're going to create a new and better result. And so if you feel like you're just listening to what your brain's telling you all day long, and you find that you're creating these same results that you're not happy with, I want to invite you to become aware of what you're thinking. It's not about changing the result of the circumstance. We've done that over and over. It doesn't work. It's about changing what you're thinking about. So if we're talking about motivation and you just feel really unmotivated, what are you thinking? Go write those down and let's renew those thoughts. Let's get some powerful, helpful thoughts that help you show up the way that you desire to show up, so that you can get the results that you want and that you desire.